The rain poured like the heavens were crying that night, cold, merciless, and endless. Streets of Naples glistened under the dim glow of street lamps, and the only sound louder than the thunder was the slow rumble of a black Maserati crawling down Via del Porto. Inside sat Lorenzo De Luca, one of Italy's most feared mafia bosses, a man whose name alone made others tremble. But fate has strange ways of testing even the most dangerous souls. Because that night, through the sheets of rain and darkness, Lorenzo saw something that would change his life forever. A woman, barefoot, bloodied, and barely breathing. And when she looked up at him with trembling lips and whispered, "Please, don't let them find me," Lorenzo knew, this wasn't just a chance encounter. This was destiny clawing its way through the storm. The storm had been raging for hours when Lorenzo's car stopped near the old harbor. He wasn't supposed to be there, his men had told him to go straight home. But something in his chest, some restless force, drove him through the back streets of the city he ruled. Naples at night was his kingdom, its shadows his allies. Yet even kings find themselves haunted by ghosts. He rolled the window down, lighting a cigarette, watching as the rain hissed against the flame. That's when he saw her. A woman, no older than 25, stumbling through the puddles, clothes torn, hair plastered to her face. She looked like she'd crawled out of hell itself. The sight made him freeze. Lorenzo had seen death, violence, and betrayal, but this was different. She wasn't just hurt, she was terrified. "Stop the car," he said quietly. His driver hesitated. "Boss, it's not safe, stop the damn car." Lorenzo stepped out, rain soaking his tailored suit in seconds. The woman flinched when she saw him approach, backing away like a wounded animal. "Don't come closer," she cried, her voice raw with fear. He raised his hands. "I'm not here to hurt you." Her eyes darted around, panic flooding her expression. "They'll find me, please, they'll kill me if they find me." Lorenzo's instincts screamed trap, but something deeper silenced that voice. Maybe it was the way she was trembling, maybe it was the bruise on her cheek, or the blood on her wrists. He took off his jacket and placed it over her shoulders. "You're safe now," he said firmly, the words escaping before he could think. Her knees gave out, and he caught her just before she collapsed. For a moment, time stopped, the mafia boss holding a stranger under the rain, not out of power, not out of guilt, but out of something he hadn't felt in years, compassion. When she finally fainted in his arms, Lorenzo looked at her face. There was a strange familiarity in her features, something that tugged at a memory long buried. Without another word, he carried her into his car. "Take us to the villa," he ordered. The drive back was silent except for the storm. His men exchanged uneasy looks. Bringing a stranger, especially a broken, bleeding one, into the boss's home wasn't just unusual. It was dangerous, but Lorenzo didn't care. At the villa, the woman was laid on a bed in one of the guest rooms. A doctor was called. She had bruises, cuts, and signs of restraint. Someone had beaten her brutally and left her to die. When she woke up hours later, dawn was breaking. The room was warm, filled with the scent of coffee and lavender. She blinked, confused, until she saw Lorenzo sitting quietly in a chair near the window. Where am I?" she whispered. "My home," he replied, voice low but steady. "You were in bad shape. I found you near the harbor." She swallowed hard. "You should have left me there. I don't leave people to die." Her eyes filled with tears. "You don't understand. They'll come for me. And if they find me here, they'll kill you too." Lorenzo leaned forward. "Who?" She hesitated, trembling. "The Ricci family." That name hit like a blade. The Riccis were one of the few crime families who dared challenge the De Lucas. A war had been simmering for months, small skirmishes, betrayals, whispered threats. And now, somehow, this woman was part of it. "What did they do to you?" he asked quietly, her voice broke. "I saw something I shouldn't have. They killed a man. I ran. They caught me. I escaped last night." Lorenzo's jaw tightened. "What's your name?" "Isabella," she said after a pause. He nodded slowly. Isabella, you're safe now. No one touches you while you're under my roof. But as he looked into her eyes, dark, haunted, and yet full of a strange light, Lorenzo knew that keeping her safe would come with a price. Because in his world, mercy was weakness. And weakness always came with blood. That night, as Isabella slept, Lorenzo stood on the balcony, staring into the storm that still echoed faintly in the distance. He wasn't a hero. He never had been. But for the first time in years, he wanted to be. Without hesitation, Lorenzo gathered his men. The war he'd tried to avoid was now at his doorstep. When Isabella found out, she begged him. "Lorenzo, please, let me go. I can't be the reason you get killed." He grabbed her shoulders, eyes blazing. "Do you think I'm afraid of them? Do you think I'll let them hurt you again?" Tears streamed down her face. "I don't want anyone else to die because of me." He softened, brushing a strand of hair from her cheek. "You didn't bring death here, Isabella. You brought something I thought I'd lost a long time ago, purpose." That night, gunfire echoed through the hills. Lorenzo's men fought fiercely, driving the Ricci's back. But in the chaos, one of the enemy cars broke through the line and headed straight for the villa. Lorenzo reached the courtyard just in time to see a man stepping out, the Ricci enforcer, grinning. "Give me the girl," he shouted, "and we walk away." Lorenzo's response was a bullet. The gunfight that followed was brutal. Lorenzo was hit twice but refused to fall. When the last Ricci man went down, silence returned, heavy, final. Isabella ran out, finding Lorenzo bleeding but standing tall. "You're safe now," he whispered again, echoing the words from that night. She caught him before he could fall, tears mixing with blood and rain. Weeks later, after Lorenzo recovered, the Ricci family collapsed under police raids. Information anonymously leaked to the authorities. Isabella had testified, and though she risked everything, she knew it was time to end the cycle. Before leaving Naples, she stood before Lorenzo one last time. "Thank you," she said softly. "For saving me, and for saving yourself." He smiled faintly. "You gave me something no one else could, a reason to believe there's still good in me." As she walked away, the sea breeze carried the faint scent of rain. Lorenzo watched until she disappeared into the horizon, then turned toward the city, his empire, with a heart no longer made of stone, because sometimes, even in the darkest world, a broken soul can find redemption in another's pain, and sometimes, the most dangerous man alive can become someone's salvation. "You're safe now." Not just words of comfort, but a promise. A promise that no matter how broken you are, there's always someone, somewhere, willing to stand between you and the storm.